every time after a meal? Oh my god, I'm gonna live on that damn toilet. Oh god, I gotta get used to that. Alright, well, now or never. Good day, complete strangers, and last time that you saw me, I looked a little something like this. But now, I look a little something like this. Either way, however, I'm still going to be continuing with my reviews, so, without further ado, Doctor Who, the Modern Series. So with the rebirth of the show in 2005, the biggest concern that the BBC had was how to properly introduce it. A difficult task indeed, but you see, for those of you that don't properly understand what I mean by trying to introduce it, mind you, the show wasn't even around in the 90s. It clocked off at around the 80s, and sadly, during that time, a whole lot of people either abandoned Doctor Who or never actually watched it. So to introduce the show to a brand new audience, it had to both take what it had in its roots and add new things to it. Even though it didn't properly do that, it did manage to open pretty damn well. The story opens up showing the daily life of some random woman. And even though this opening scene isn't very long and the show does get better as it goes on, let me just say one thing, however. This scene is so boring! There is no point in this scene at all. Yes, this scene doesn't really go on very long. Yes, the rest of the episode is actually quite good and a huge improvement over this. And yes, it is an easily forgettable little bit. To some. To me, however, the whole time that I was watching the scene, all that was going through my head was, who's she? Who's that? Where is she going? Where does she live? Why does this matter? Who the hell's that? Why don't I care? Where's my gun? How long will this last? Where's my gun? Luckily, however, the story does eventually pick up when the woman eventually goes into a level from Condemned 2? Well, whatever. So she's trying to find this one person, and then in the process of finding this one person, who we still don't give two shits about, she eventually bumps into evil Ken dolls?
Hiya, Bobby. You wanna go for a ride?
Run! And then the evil Kens chase her. Sort of. Until eventually she's saved by the Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston. Now, I could continue on with the rest of the episode, but to be honest, the vast majority of the episode is actually quite good, and I don't want to bash something that's actually pretty damn good. And for another thing, I don't want to just sit here and talk about how great a certain episode is, because a lot of it would sound a little like this. So instead, I'm going to continue on with my Doctor skit and talk about the 9th Doctor. You see, Christopher Eccleston also had to carry quite a lot on his shoulders. You see, he was almost like the first Doctor to so many. And even though he's been justified as the 9th, he still seems to come off as a bit more of the Doctor that has to justify what every other Doctor from now on has to do. What the fuck? Even though the classic series was established, it's about now where they actually started calling it the Classics, and this, the Modern. With that bridging over in about 15 years of pretty much no Doctor Who, Christopher Eccleston was pretty much the first Doctor to everybody. So with that in mind, he mainly had to take the entire story, what the Doctor did, how all of it managed to turn out, what a lot of the plots looked like and what they amounted to, and then, in a sense, make it appear as common knowledge. And with all of this introducing and showing, and so you could really see a whole lot of pressure that was put on Christopher Eccleston for trying to throw all this in, and of course, with all of this stuff put on his shoulders, he had to seriously get a lot of time to explain it and let it be comfortably put out. That's why you got one cocking season. I don't have to say anything about that. 1 season? Are you kidding me? But never mind how much dicks people sure are in the BBC. How about I also talk to you about the companions, a thing that I managed to neglect up till now. Companion number 1, she's boring. Companion number 2, she's also boring. Companion number 3, she is very boring. Number 4, boring. Number 5, boring, 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 boring. Boring. They're very, very boring. Now, if you guys want to disagree, go right ahead. I actually enjoy when I get comments. Some of them, anyways. But from what I saw from the old series, I couldn't define anything about these characters outside of the fact that, oh, I really want to help. Oh my god, I have an annoying voice. Or my personal favorite, hello, I'm a well-established character with actual emotions and character traits, along with very funny scenes, and, well, I do actually want to go along with the Doctor. For one thing, I respect and cherish his own ideologies, and 2, I love to see the entire cosmos and help those that need help. Sarah Jane Smith. Oh, wonderful. Oh my god. Okay, people, this is Sarah Jane Smith. Sarah Jane Smith was a companion that actually managed to live through the 3rd Doctor and the 4th Doctor. I like Sarah Jane Smith. She actually had characteristics for herself. She had this odd sense of, yeah, she wants to help out, but she's got emotions. She's beyond that. She'll have plans. She'll maybe change plans. She'll have different ideologies going through her head. It's not just one single track. Oh yeah, and you know, she wasn't boring, 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 boring. Although, to be honest, it's probably just because of my ignorance, because the most companions that I've seen are the ones from the modern. LittleRadge! You said that you're an expert. How can you actually be an expert if you haven't actually watched all the companions and taken all the time to try and learn every single bit of theology before you decide to talk about Doctor Who? Talking like this actually kind of hurts a little bit, and I'm pretty sure that my lungs are actually collapsing as I say these things. Well, in that sense, as you'd actually be sort of right. My ignorance does kind of kill a bit of what I say here, but mind you, I'm probably trying to open up most of the Doctor Who series by talking more about the modern series. Because, well, if you like to appreciate the classics, go right ahead. I already made a review on that. One quick thing, when I was a cartoon, I was also jittery and had terrible editing. Nowadays, I have great editing. Why, yes you do, sir. You're so smart. Yes, and you too, handsome fellow over there. But for the most part, the companions of the modern series seem to be very, well, more characterized. Like, for example, I brought up the random woman inside of the 1st episode of Doctor Who. She wasn't so random. She was actually Rose, the very first companion of the modern Doctor Who series. Now, it's time for the inevitable. I hate Rose so much that I wish she got some sort of disease and died. And then a seal came by and killed itself next to her so that it would look more dignified. Okay, that's maybe a little extreme. And a little nuts, but you see where I'm coming from here, people. If you've watched Rose, you'll sort of notice that she's, number 1, a big old bitch. Number 2, really not that helpful. Number 3, so goddamn annoying. Number 4, has this weird-ass look on her face, which kind of makes me think that she's either asleep or emotionally dead. For the other of you that don't know what I'm talking about, it's this face. But everyone loves this character, and that's one thing I do not get out of fanboys. Dradix would like to take this time to actually explain that he does not condone any sort of, say, crazy fanboys coming over to his account and then slowly and but surely trying to drive him incredibly insane with all of these strange little letters that are all saying about how wonderful Rose is and how you all should just go ahead and die because I really don't like you right now. So, you know, just don't send letters unless you're going to say something nice, because that'd be awesome. So Rose stuck around for a couple of seasons, and then she took off in one of the most overblown endings I have ever seen. And then we moved on to Martha Jones. And to make this incredibly brief, knock knock, who's there? She's boring, 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 boring! But enough about how incredibly boring, 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 boring Martha Jones is. Let's instead move on to something a bit more interesting, like, for example, Donna No. Donna, to make it very brief, was actually a little bit interesting, only for one thing, however. With the first 2 companions, their story started to try and connect them together in some sort of a relationship. And in my opinion, Doctor Who shouldn't be like that. Maybe it's just me though. Maybe it's because I might be a little bit of a racist, okay? I just don't see the ideology of trying to connect an alien to a human being. Even though the alien looks a hell of a lot like a human being, it's still interplanetary sex. It's just strange, you know? And Donna Noble tried to change that around a little by sounding and acting a lot like that of like an irritating little sister. Sadly, however, even the performance that she brought over couldn't actually save Russell T Davies' piece of shit writing, so instead I've decided to just move straight on to hoping that in the new writing, new series, they have decided to make good companions. And have they? Yeah, they really did. First companion of the 11th Doctor, Amy Pond. I love this character because she's so characterized. It's not just about the Doctor anymore. Which brings me to number 2, Rory, who I also love because he reminds me of a better version of Mickey. And I hate Mickey. I hate Mickey so much. But getting away from the point of how much I hate Mickey, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Let's try and just get around to concluding this. With most of the companions that came around at the time, it seems as though Amy Pond and Rory were two of the most interesting ones, because they seem to be human, living in a world with an alien. The Doctor, the 11th Doctor, the really good Doctor, the interesting Doctor, the funny Doctor, the one who isn't crying his ass off all the time, and always getting into these dumbass stories where he tries to impersonate James fucking Bond all the time! What the fuck's wrong with you, man? Oh, Jesus Christ. These humans have some pretty irritating emotions. Okay, well, to sum things up really, I wasn't that impressed by the ending of David Tennant's role as the Doctor. Did you hear something? Jesus. Hi, yeah, hi. You need something? Ah, you do need something. Okay, hold that thought. Jesus! Ow! Oh, that didn't even hit me. Okay, good. Oh, okay, that one kind of hit me. That one kind of hit me. Okay, oh, look! It's the David Tennant Doctor and Jack Harkness making out somewhere. Oh. Jesus Christ. Well, guess you'll want to know why that just happened. You know, I think I'm going to be a little busy barricading a couple things, so for now, good day, complete strangers, and remember, I'm an expert. Keep the hammer around.